Hello, and welcome to the Daily Bolt. We are back after a long hiatus. This is technically episode 180, but it has been almost 2 years since we were on the air as a regular podcast. But we are back. I have some time that has freed up compared to what I've had available the last few years. And I am looking forward to sharing some more information about weather, climate, and in this case, with a little bit different focus. So today's episode is going to be really short. I'm just going to say, welcome back. And for those of you who have not been with us in the past, welcome. I hope that you will find this informative. You'll be able to spend a few minutes, a few times a week with us, and be able to have some more tools in your arsenal as you go about your daily lives, things that hopefully will be able to help you as relates to weather, climate, natural environment, etc. So here with the Daily Bolt coming back, I'm hoping to do at least 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more if I get things streamlined appropriately. I'd love to be able to go back to making it strictly a daily podcast. That would be awesome. But to start, I'm shooting for roughly 3 times a week, and hopefully we'll be able to pick up from there pretty quickly. I'm a little bit rusty in putting some of this together, so it's going to take just a little bit of time to be able for me to be able to do what I need to be able to do. In terms of where it's available, most of you are probably seeing this on my Facebook, either home profile under my name or under the Tilley Weather Associates webpage. And hopefully I'll be able to share them to both for at least a while, and we'll see where we go from there as to which one I end up sharing it more on. Hopefully we'll be sharing it to both. Also, this should be able to be continued availability on Apple Podcasts and on Podbean, which is where kind of the archive of the Daily Bolts will also be set up formally. Still working with Podbean, still happy to use them as a source for hosting and doing some other things with the podcasts. So none of that is necessarily going to be changing. What is going to change a little bit is all right, we had a slight glitch there. I am using Zoom for recording the podcast. That is a change from previous practice. And I had to make sure I got all the settings set properly for Zoom so I could share this particular screen. And this all gives the information that I used in the previous minute or so of the podcast to tell you where to find it and where you might find an archive, and just, that we're back. But in terms of where the focus is going to be, we have 3 new foci in terms of this particular iteration of the podcast. One thing is the same as what we've always done. We've always looked at current severe weather threats, whether they be winter weather, whether they be thunderstorms, whether they be tornadoes, whether they be hurricanes, especially a lot with hurricanes. But this time around, one of the things I want to address is to give you pointers to various sources of publicly available weather data, an easy way to use those publicly available weather data sources for your needs. You need to go on a picnic. You need to plan travel. You need to know what it's going to be. Do you need to take something as simple as taking an umbrella, or do you need to do something in terms of completely changing your travel plans because you're flying into an airport where you're going to have a huge storm, and it's more than likely that that airport's going to be shut down. There might be delays getting in. There might be delays getting out. Might be delays even just dealing with the traffic around the airport itself. So I hope to be pointing you to some sources that you can easily find. Some of you already know some of these. There's a lot of weather apps out there. We're going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about some other places that you can look as well that you might not be familiar with. And finally, the last thing in terms of a focus for the new and improved, hopefully improved, podcast are your questions. I'd like you to send me questions in the Facebook group for Tilly Weather Associates. You can send them to me on my profile as well. You can DM me. All of those things are good. I will try and look at those questions and try to answer them in either the next podcast or maybe two podcasts down the road, but I don't want to let them sit and fester very long. So if you send me your questions, I'm going to give you my answers. And if it's something that I can answer with an I don't know, well, I'll say that. But I will also say, I don't know right now, but I'm going to look it up a little bit, spend a little more time, and it will become the subject of a future podcast. So, anyway, that is pretty much where I expect things to go with this podcast. And as always, I do these live. I don't really go back and re-edit and redub and that. So you hear my occasional stumbling over a word or two, or maybe I'll repeat something and I don't mean to repeat it. But that way you're getting the real me. You're not getting some plastic person that you might have recording 500 weathercasts in a TV studio before they decide to broadcast the one that they like. You're getting the real me. You're getting the real Daily Bolt. And with that, I'm going to bring this very short episode of the Daily Bolt to a close. I am Dr. Jeff Tilley. This is the Daily Bolt episode 180, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the Facebook group and getting your questions.